So, in this video today, we are talking about, are we squeezing now in AMC? What will GameStop do? Will Trump media still going up? Will we see a squeeze in FFAI in the next, let's say, 1 or 2 weeks? Did BYND already found its bottom? Or do we still have to go down? And what the fuck is BYND doing? If you're interested, just stay tuned. As always, I'm using this method here, the fractal method. I will link it at the end of the video, or you just search for the playlist fractal method. There I explain everything step by step. So let's start the day with BYND. So here our bullish chart for BYND. Sadly, we still have two versions. All in all, from IPO till October 20, this was our first fractal. We finished it in October, and we already did our higher low here. And here comes the two versions. I will start with the bearish one first. All in all, for the bearish version, since October 16 till today, and for the bearish version, most likely still a few weeks left, this whole thing is our high low. That only means that, let's look, that this here is just our T. This whole thing is just our T. And if we look without after hours on, we still have a gap between 88 cents and 7. No, we even have to go on the 1 hour. Yeah. So 88 cents to 66 cents. So for the bearish version, that would mean this here was just our T, the T of this little thing here. So this was your T. You can micro track it also in ABC, and this would just be our T point. In that case, we have to come down. Let's put on after hours on again. To finish this T, you have to come at least 1 cent under 80 cents. But if we go down here, I'm pretty convinced we will just gap fill here. With gap fill here, maybe we adding a little micro high low. And then we go. For the bullish version, that means that our higher low, our big one, this one, was finished on Friday, November 21st. And the only thing we did since then was just a micro high low. I will show that on FFAI and DJT too. In that way, this wasn't T. This was just a little micro high low. And for that, that would mean our little T of this whole thing was already here. We already finished this micro high low in a perfect V and A. We won't gap fill. This is already a breakout retest. And in that way, we really should see in the next weeks, a run. To where? Well, the levels are still the same. Something over this trend line. And most likely our next A would be around $29 or $15, something in this range. Then we would do a 0.5 pullback wherever our top is. Our B is at 33. A 0.5 pullback from our A low to our B. And then the only question is, are we breaking all-time highs or not? The only alternative to this is we repeating what we did with the high low. And that would just mean we just really go. Levels wise. Yeah, let's look. Levels wise, bullish and bearish. Everything over 125 is bullish. There is no old anymore. And I would say everything under 89 cents. And this was really just our T. And then we will get there. Yeah. So what I'm lean more to, the thing is, I can easily see that this is a break or retest. So since January 7, we are just kissing this trend line every day, up and down, up and down, up and down. So in my opinion, as long as we're not breaking this trend line, we still have a chance. I mean, if we're doing this, yeah, then it just takes longer and we really have to get there. Yeah. Or if we do this, then too. But let's say the whole next week we're doing this, that's still okay. Yeah. But I want to see a decision. Go upside, breaking this, going downside, gap filling. So let's see. Okay. Next one is DJT. Only one version, just because I really don't have an alternative this time on this stock. So here also, we only have one fractal. We ended this fractal on Friday the 21st. So let's zoom in. Here, because I said on Beyond, DJT was doing the same thing. We ended the whole fractal on 21st. We made our little micro high low. This little micro high low ended in a V under A. Yeah. On December 15. And then we just added another micro high low, which also ended in a V and A. And in the end, in the second, where we finished this high low, we got merchant news. Perfect. Since then, we made our A. We also made our A pullback, which ended in going a little bit under the 0.5, but bounced on it. In that case, you could easily say this was your little micro higher low from this A. I'm really convinced that our next moves is upside. To where? The thing is, as I'm already showing in the last videos, you have here your L, you have here your M, you have here your T. To say that this little shitty micro fucking higher low is the higher low to this, I only can say no to this. So the thing is, we still need our macro higher low. That means something like this. Doesn't have to take that long, but just so we can show it. So we already did our A. Perfect. Next thing is our B. I would imagine something around 30. Then we have to do our C of the higher low. I think we won't break this trend line. And then our low I, our midpoint, our T, and then our V and A. Of course you could play this, because I mean, really, from $12 to 30 or even 40, there is money to be made. For me, the big play is in the second we're doing this V under A. Because when we finish this, next target is 60 for A, breakout retest. Next target is 80, 90 for B, B pullback. And then the only question is, are we breaking all-time highs or not? And the next thing to be said to this, maybe we aren't doing this even with this A pullback, B pullback, because if we look what we did in IPO, we just did our big high low, and then it was a straight run to see. Okay, this would be the repetition, so it would be bigger and slower. So it won't be, how long did this take? It won't be a 2 weeks run. Maybe it will be double and it will be a 1 month run, but we don't see big pullbacks here. So it looks interesting. Levels. Well, for levels, the only thing I can say, everything over 70.84 is bullish on the upside, of course. Everything under 12.50, and I really have to think about an alternative, but I don't see that yet. Okay, next one, FFAI or FFAI. Sorry for bad English. All in all, also here, same thing like BYND and DJT. We have only one fractal. We ended this fractal around April 2025. We made a high low and a micro high low. I will show that in a second. For price targets, if we take my rules 1-to-1, our next A is at 153 and our B is at 5,000. And as always, you won't see that. Yeah. Without the split, you won't, not 100%, but the chance that you see $5,000 a share without a split are, let's say, under 1 cent. Okay. For what I think 152 will be a hard reject line. So you won't break this line. You will, in the best case, come up here, reject and die. And the same, how quick? I'm not expecting a B, C. I expect just a line up. The same like we did in the past, here, 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 and here. Yeah, FFAI isn't moving slow when it's finished. So, are we finished? So in that case, you see, here in April, we finished with a perfect V. Since then, since April till November 17, we just made a high low, which ended in a perfect V under A. And the same like DJT, for example, and hopefully BYND, we just added a higher low. In that case, this micro higher low ended on December 31st. Also with a perfect V and A. So from here on, you could say we might, this can't be little micro A, so this is just another higher low. Is this higher low already finished? Well, for me, there are only 2 ways. First of all, this here, I mean, it's micro tracking, really just saying micro tracking. This is our A. In that case, we already did on Friday our VNA. My time frame for the next run is January 12th to February 19th. So Monday, next Monday already. And in my opinion, February 19th would already be the pullback for whatever we get. The only alternative I have, if we're not moving on Monday, and we're not just slowly grinding up, that we still have to come up. We won't break this trend line. This would be, so this trend line. This would be our T, and our A is here. And our A bottom is still $1.05. In that case, we would come up to T, fall till next Friday. What is that? The 16th. And the following week, you should start the run. I'm still the opinion that was it. Yeah, could be wrong. Maybe I'm too bullish, but it looks fantastic. For levels, well, for levels, in my opinion, everything over 133, and we go. To the downside, as I showed, the only bearish alternative I would have is everything under $1 or 99 cents, and something is wrong. Then I really have to look if I get something else. But then something is wrong. And if we break under 87 cents, in my opinion, this stock is dead. Let's see. Okay. Next one, bad bar from Björn. So, I have two versions for this. A bullish and a bearish one. I will start with the bearish one. For the bearish one means that this whole fractal here is not finished yet. Our last peak in October was just our T, and in that case, we will make new all-time lows. Right now, and especially with the moves in the last week, I don't see that. For the bullish version, this whole fractal was finished on April 9th, and the same like DJT and BYND and FFAI. It's crazy that all of them are quite in the same place. We did a higher low. Also, this was ended on December 30, 2025. And since then, we got a breakout. You could also say that we already did the breakout retest. Kinda. Yeah, kinda. So, for these two versions, the bearish one the ultra bearish one, we're breaking downside. Okay, fine. The bullish bearish one is we still have to do now, same like DJT, FFAI and BYND, a micro high low. In that case, this would be already your peak of your higher low L, M, T, and somewhere here 569 would be your VNA. The micro high would be finished, and you would go. The bullish version for this is upside. Yeah. For levels, in my opinion, everything over 858, and you could already start dreaming. Everything over 970, there is no alternative anymore. For levels to the downside, if you go under 6.57, I think you will do this little micro higher low. If you break under 539, then we can start talking about the really bearish alternative with new all-time lows again. For levels, if we go, our next point would be A, around 30 to 22-ish in this range. So something like this. In normal case, you would do then a break or retest. Your B is somewhere in this range, B pullback, and only question is if you're breaking all-time highs. Here also again, we might not do this. Yeah, we might just do something like this. Why? Because I'm comparing this to 2020. And all in all, you didn't really had 0.5 pullbacks here. You had little pullbacks, but not the real 0.5 pullback. So it should really go steady up. For macro position, let's put this side by side. So left side is 2020, right side is now. And in that case, March 2020 was our V. That would be the same like here. You did a higher low in this little one. You did a low in this little one. Then you added your big one. You added your big one. And in my opinion, in this case, you would be right now in this place. Just ready to go up. It looks absolutely nice. So next week should be really telling. Okay. Next one, AMC. So also here, we only have one fractal. We already have two fractals because this would be your first one, which ended in December 30. And since December 30 till last Friday, this is number 2. And we got a very nice candle last Friday. And of course, in the moment AMC gets a green candle, everyone is throwing every tracking overboard and is screaming next week. Because it never happened before. Okay, just for the short summary before we look at this. Yeah. All in all, my price targets for the second part of the squeeze, and yeah, I'm one of them who's saying we're getting a 2-part, would be around here, so 800-ish, and the first one would be around here, 150 to 80. Yeah. Why? Just because if you look in 2020 from the bottom to our peak, we made a break, a retest at the 0.61. If we repeat the same thing now, we don't want to fall under this trend line again. So it would be, if it's January, something around here in the best case. That means we would run up. This would be our A pullback, doing bullshit, running to the second part. Yeah. If we do that now, so January, February, the second one, I would imagine again June. Okay. Again, also, why a second part, 2-part squeeze, not a 1-part squeeze? Just because we're just repeating this thing. Yeah. And as I'm always saying, if you are saying this time is different, you're not allowed to use this because it's different. If it's not different, we will repeat this. Okay, so let's look what we did last Friday. Well, was a nice candle. After we knifed over months, we got a relief rally. But point is, my original price target for the bottom was around 160, 155. Okay, we came to 145, but it's close. We didn't broke my trend line, my yellow one, this one. So perfect. So in my opinion, yeah. I'm also convinced that we have, let's say, 90% chance this was our bottom. Now to the question, are we gapping and running from here? And I say it again, as I'm always doing, 99% no. Now, if this is the bottom, we still have to do a higher low. Like DJT, like BYND, like FFAI, like Bed Bath & Beyond, and like every other stock. Yeah. In that case, we should now form our A. Maybe this is already our A. Yeah. So here, down here is our high low. So maybe we're doing some A, B, C, L, M, T. A, B, C, L, M, T. In the moment you're doing the BYND, which we should see forming in the next week. So no, I mean, we should know where the A is. This is the buy-in target for the next move. How long could this take? Well, I had this here because I showed it. If you look at IPO, and not an IPO, on December and January 20 and 2021, it took you from the V to finish the high low 8 days. It was the first one. And also here, just saying, because of this thick, this big fucking candle. Yeah. In 2020, you could say in 2 days you made 15% with volume. Then we look at May 2024 or April 2024. It took you from the bottom to the end of the high low 24 days. And also from the V, you got a massive candle. That was a Tuesday, yeah, 26% in 1 day. And in 2025, it took you from the V to the finish of the high low 26 days, and you added a little channel. But also here, it was a Friday. So Friday goes till here. You bounced 21% in 1 day. Well, on Monday you fall back again. Yeah. In April, and you fell back again too. So I don't know why people are forgetting this all the time. Yeah. This is not something which never happened. You could even say it happened every time. So, yeah, I don't think I'm my tracking, absolutely convinced we won't squeeze from here. No. We still have to do a high low. And because of when, it's just a little theory for me. So if we say 2024 was 24 days, 2025 it was 26 days, we can say now it will be 28 days. Where would that put us? So if we're taking 28 days from last Friday, it's February 6th. And February 6th is a Friday. Yeah. That means your next run could start on February 9. That is a Monday. No? Looks good. Okay. Last thing. GME. So here also a little summary. So from IPO till February 18, this was just our high low. From February till March 2020, this was just our A. And from March till April 2024, this was just our B with the B pullback. And what we did since 2024 till today was just a little higher low of the B. For price targets, whenever we go, in my opinion, I won't tell you 5,000 or something bullshitty. For me, it would be this range. So something between 300 and 500, just because of this trend line. You could break it a little bit, like we did it in 2007, but not much higher. That's why I'm also always saying that AMC this time could be the better play. So let's zoom in. Because of course of the candle of AMC, GameStop will also squeeze next week. I mean, yeah, I agree. If AMC is going, GME will go too, of course. But for me, there are two versions. First of all, this whole thing is just our higher low. We have our C, our low point, our midpoint, and our last time to sell here. So for the bullish version, okay, even if I don't like it and I'm not agreeing, this thing is your higher low, your last one. In that case, you go up. But thing is, if this is our high low and GME goes up, I still think we will go up here. Something in this range, this would be your A, maybe even lower. And you would still do a breakout retest here. And in that case, this would be also maybe February 9th or whenever AMC is finished with its high low. And then both go. What I'm really thinking is, this is our T. It's not finished yet. This here, this whole thing, is just a tiny micro T of this T. And if you even go more into micro tracking, then this last peak was our T of this T. So all in all, that only means this was already our micro C. This was already our micro lower peak. We will go down, would be our M, T, knife. Yeah. For this T, for the whole T, we have to come at least under 1963. My price target is still 1758. Yeah. But I'm also okay with 1918. Yeah. I still think it will be this, but could be wrong. But in my opinion, GME is not finished yet. Yeah. So, and I think this will be quick. This will be really quick. So you would knife down, drawing a higher low. And then at the same time with AMC, we would go. For levels again. So everything over $23. And this was higher low. And we go up. And everything under 20.57, and we will go lower. We will at least break 1958. Yeah. Let's see. Next week should really be telling on quite all meme stocks. Yeah. Also the little theory, because BYND, Bed Bath & Beyond, and FFAI in 2020 squeezed before AMC and GME. So it would make sense that these two still need some time. I would still imagine something end of January, early February, and all the others are doing their squeezes. And then AMC and GME are going. Could be wrong. Maybe all go together. Could be. Okay, as always, if you liked it, leave a like. The explanation video I put here, playlist here, and if you want to subscribe and see more, here's a button. Let's see what next week is giving us. See ya.